Hello, this is Dylan Barry. I'm going to do this podcast from my car. So I'm driving out to get some surfing, but I was thinking about this. People are funny, aren't they? They're all sort of in their own little stormy heads about everything, and this sort of inner fight with yourself, and I gotta do this, I gotta do that, oh man, this has to happen, and well, if I don't do this, and oh my God, if you look at all the different things that we struggle with in our lives, what we struggle with is how to spend our time and how to enjoy the time we're spending, right? Like, if you're spending your time stressed out or getting whipped by somebody else to do a job you don't care about, your life sucks. If you're spending your time always trying to do something and it never quite, hits, like, all my music friends, there's a lot of people that are really, really, really talented and the right people and the right mind and the right hearts, and for some reason, they just don't, the pins don't line up. That's daunting. There's all these things about trying to wear too many hats. Wake up in the morning and you're going to go out there and act like Mr. Happy, but you have drama at home. It takes that away from you. And so when I look at people's faces, you see it, right? You can see people at a party that appear to be having a great time. And then when they look off to the side, you can kind of see what's really going on in their head. And maybe they're having a great time, but they're insecure. They're worried about what people think, or they're worried about their Aunt Lily who's, fell down and hurt herself. Whatever it is, humans are funny. We're funny because our brains cycle, and they cycle and they cycle, and they tend to go towards fear, and they tend to go towards, being fearful of something, of not having enough money, of having too much money, of having people look at them and judge them for how their physical appearances. They're just always worrying about something. And I think it's inherent in our species to worry, right? Because you need to protect yourself. And if you didn't worry, then you'd just be a dumbass and walk in the middle of the street and get plowed by a car, So you have to have that inherent worry. But the problem with that is we also spend an inordinate amount of time worrying and stressing about vapor. Things that are not real, that are not in front of us, that maybe did or did not happen. Did that person look at me and go, oh, you look like, that person looks like shit. They might have been making a critical face and looking at you and going, man, I've been looking for those boots for 6 months. Those boots are fire as hell. And you might be thinking, oh, that person's looking at me going, that person's lame, whatever, right? This is all human nature stuff, and humans are funny. And so when I talk about business, I bring humans into the conversation because we tend to forget that it doesn't matter who you are. You can be, Mark Cuban, Zuckerberg, whatever, Jimmy Iovine. These are human beings. They have bad days. They have good days. They make bad decisions. They make good decisions. They have heartbreak. You know what I mean? They struggle with this, that, and the other thing. You might be the richest person in the world, but you might have 180 lawsuits that you have to show up to where somebody's calling you the biggest criminal in the world that's ruined their family. You don't know what the emotional toll of all of that is. Some of the happiest people I've ever met in my life were those that had family and friends and not a lot of money. I am being serious. Every year I go to the tip of Baja to just sit there and try to get grounded. And I've been going there with those families since I was a kid, and those families and their grandparents and their kids. And I've never seen so much joy in these small communities. I'm not talking about Los Cabos and Cabo San Lucas. I'm talking about out in the Point where these families have lived for years. I've never seen a more balanced approach to life in my life. It's just, good morning, and you're going out and you're working very hard every day, but you're working with people you love and care about, and you're enjoying yourself, and you're seeing new amazing things every day. And I think there's something to be taken from that. I think all of us want to be, maybe not all of us, but we all want to be rich or famous, or have our high school friends go, God, you've really made it. Oh my God, you're awesome. Now, a lot of that isn't positive energy. A lot of that's negative energy. You go back to the high school reunion thinking, oh, well, I've done well with whatever I've done. And you get back there and you see that maybe some other people haven't, and maybe some have done better, and so on and so forth. but the perception is not necessarily positive. They're not really stoked for you. They're doing what people do because people are weird. People are funny. They're potentially looking at themselves and going, what didn't I do? And that's a hurtful feeling for many people. And then the ones that have done more are looking and going, oh, I did better than that person. That, again, is a negative thing in some ways, right? And I'm not trying to paint a grim picture. I'm just calling it what it is. This is human beings. Human beings are funny. That's all I'm saying. So I try to think about these things. Not that you care what I have to say, but you know what? I got a radio show, so I might as well try to say something. I try to look at all of this and go, you know what? If I'm going to win this game, it has to be about the people. It has to be about surrounding yourself with the people that you want to spend time with. For better or worse, victory or loss, your team, your people around you is everything. Your family, who you marry, how you raise your kids, and what you give to them when they need you most. That's what matters, right? So, not to get too philosophical about it all, and I'm just a, dude who made it up as I went, right? But I think it's important to remember that it is not about these goals, these accolades. You have to have those because those get you out of the fearful trenches and get you working. But look around you. Look who's to the left and look who's to the right. If you got the wrong people there, you are going to fail at life no matter how rich you get. That's my advice for today. Take it or leave it. This is Dylan Barry, and what the F do I know? Big love to everybody out there. Keep your heads up. Love your family, love your friends, and work hard. That's all we can do, man. And enjoy it. All right, I'm out. Peace.